You know that you should put yourself first, but when that moment comes, then suddenly the guilt sets in. It just takes right over. You second guess yourself about your decision. You worry about disappointing others, and then you end up saying yes when really what you mean is no. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Let me show you how we can break this cycle. Starting. Have you ever done something for someone else out of guilt, feeling out of obligation even when you didn't want to? Why do you feel so selfish for prioritizing yourself? Would you expect others to feel guilty for doing the same thing? When I first started my face painting career a couple decades ago, I had a hard time around saying no when it came to my line cut off. I get people coming along and saying, "Oh, just squeeze me in, just fit me in." And meanwhile, I'm looking at my watch. It's like, I'm done. I need to be out of here and pack up because I've got another event to go to. But people would come say, "Oh, just please, just fit me in, just fit me in, just fit me in." Or a parent would come along and say, "Oh, come on, you're going to make my child cry." One day, I just started saying, "Well, thank you for giving me that much power over making your child cry over their emotions, but I've been here for this long. I'm not responsible for when you got the child in the lineup." To the other people that would say, "Well, just fit me in." Finally, I started to say, "You know what? I'd love to do that. However, I can guarantee you, for every person that comes along that says, 'Well, just fit me in,' there's going to be at least 5 more people that come along and say, 'Well, just fit me in.'" And really, in all honesty, that isn't fair to all the other people that waited in line. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Please share your story. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to know the last time that you had a hard time saying no. You felt guilty or you felt obligated for just putting yourself first. So what is this all about? Guilt isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. Guilt is something that is a learned response. It's not a reflex of what's right or what's wrong. Society, family, even past experiences, they've taught you that being good or a good person means you always say yes. But how many times has that gotten you into trouble or got yourself frustrated? Ask yourself, would you expect someone else to feel guilty for the same thing? Feel obligated to you? Really, put yourself in that situation. How would you feel? Train yourself. Train yourself to prioritize yourself, even when it feels uncomfortable. Putting yourself first, it's just like bodybuilding. You're building up muscles, and the more that you do this, the more you exercise this muscle, the easier it gets to do over time. Start with the small things, things that are low stake, that aren't going to have as much of an impact, and that you feel a little bit more comfortable. So just things that are small decisions. What you can do is start with, instead of deferring it to others as to what to have for supper, you decide. You decide what you want. Don't worry about what others want for supper, especially if you're the one making supper. The more that you practice this, the easier that it gets. It's just like bodybuilding. It might be uncomfortable at first, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Some people, they're going to try to guilt trip you and manipulate you. These people aren't going to like your boundaries, and that's okay. They don't have to like them. Just respect them. Don't allow them to walk over it. You might feel the impulse to start explaining your position and over-explain it, but you don't need to do that. Instead, you can just say, "I appreciate your understanding, but this is what's best for me," right? Let's start that again. I appreciate your understanding. However, this is what's best for me right now. True friends will respect these choices. And if they don't, well, maybe they're just not the right people for you to have in your life. If they're not going to respect your boundaries, if they're not going to respect your choices, turn the knowing into doing. Many people feel like they want to put themselves first, but they just don't. There's almost a morbid sense of obligation to other people, but you have a sense of obligation to yourself. When it comes to that moment, pause and ask yourself, if I say yes, what is the impact of this going to be? Is this something that I'm going to truly enjoy? Is it going to bring me joy doing it? Do I have the time to do it? Do I have the energy to do it? Is this something that I enjoy doing? Or is this something that's going to be an overload on me, overwhelming? Maybe I don't have time in my schedule, or that time frame doesn't fit. I have another obligation. Is it going to leave you feeling resentful, drained, or overwhelmed? Think of it this way. If it was your best friend in the same situation, what advice would you give them? The advice that you give them is also the same advice you give to yourself. Why should there be two sets of rules? One set of rules for grace and compassion and understanding and boundaries for other people, but not for yourself? No. The same applies to you. These quick little reflections, they can really help you shift your responses to an automatic response of, well, I'm going to take care of myself. Reframe self-care as a responsibility. Prioritizing yourself does not mean that you're neglecting others. If anything, it means you're pouring into yourself so that you can think of others. Think of it like a battery. You need to charge in that battery. You need to plug it in so it charges. Or what's going to happen? You lose the charge. It's dead. So recharge yourself before you even think about recharging or prioritizing others. Make yourself a priority. Taking care of yourself benefits everyone because then you're able to show up in a better frame of mind. You're happier, you're healthier, you're more in the present, and you're able to enjoy the other things around you so much better. If these things resonate with you, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, and share. Share your experiences. If guilt is stopping you from putting yourself first, it's time that you break free of that. Let me know in the comments, what's one thing that you're doing for yourself right now? What's one thing that you are going to do? And if you really have a struggle with it, I would like to give you a gift. I'd like to share with you my ebook. I want to give it to you as a free gift. Protecting your energy, how to say no. Just reach out to me. You can comment in the box below, say free gift. Also, information is in the description below how you can reach out to me. Let's do this together. Let's do this journey together. Let me know how I can help you, how I can support you. I'm Elizabeth, your intuitive spiritual counselor. Be blessed. Have an amazing day. And remember, prioritize yourself. It's okay to say no.